What's up, Gamer community, and welcome back to Gamer Said, where this week we want to talk about those sequels we never got, or those sequels we're still waiting on. So let's find out what you had to say when we asked you, what is a game sequel that you would instantly play? Let's check it out. Sir Monberg, you've given us 3 suggestions here, so I would love for Darksiders 4, the story of the last of the 4 horsemen and combining of all 4 in one adventure continuing after the event of the first game. Anthem is also a game I'd like to see a sequel made with a better outcome. And lastly, Amazing Island 2026 would be overwhelmingly awesome with the technology we now have. I'm going to focus on one in particular at the moment. Darksiders is a great pick. And for those who haven't played it before, the story is a war breaks out between heaven and hell and you play as War in the first game, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse. There are 4 installments, and each installment you play as one of the horsemen of the apocalypse. The most recent one, I believe the events took place before the first game. I don't think you're going to be out of luck because at last I heard, THQ Nordic did announce that they were working on something. So whether or not it's going to be continuing the story or maybe a spin-off title, they've had one game with each of the horsemen. Maybe it's time to combine them all and maybe it'll be like an unholy Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You know, you can swap them out and have different abilities. But yeah, that's a great pick. I would definitely play a 4th Darksider. Well, 5th. Matthew, you've come up with a good one as well. Left 4 Dead 3. That would be a great one. I mean, I love anything that's cooperative, and I quite enjoyed the first Left 4 Dead. I don't recall if I played the second one. It doesn't look like Left 4 Dead 3 is on the way, but I do remember a couple of years ago they were talking about it, and I don't think that the engine they were running with for Left 4 Dead 3 was going to be able to keep up with the ideas that they had. Last I heard, it was going to be open world, it was going to be hundreds of zombies, but they just couldn't make it work. So, I mean, fingers crossed, you know. I think Left 4 Dead 2 came out maybe in 2009, so we're well overdue. And given the tech that we have these days with the new gen of consoles, maybe it's time to pick it up. Uro says, Bloodborne 2 is all I ask for. It's all any of us ask for. When will we get Bloodborne 2? If we get it. Doesn't seem likely, but who knows, man. It's going to be the biggest what if in gaming if we never get a Bloodborne 2, but yeah, we're with you. All we ask for is a Bloodborne 2. Sarah, Days Gone 2. Another one that a lot of people have asked for. Days Gone has got almost a cult following now, and now that the remaster has come out, it's had a bit of success, but you know, people are starting to wonder again, will we ever get Days Gone 2? There's still plenty of unanswered questions, and there's a lot of potential for another story in the Days Gone timeline, but it doesn't seem likely, much like Bloodborne 2. But we can hold on hope. Now that they've added some new features to Days Gone Remastered, we may potentially see it sometime in the future, but let's just not hold our breath, shall we? And if you ask me that question, I mean, a lot of great answers here already. I would definitely play a Days Gone sequel. I'm still holding out for Bloodborne 2. But the first one that probably pops into my head is Mad Max. Very similar gameplay mechanics and very similar experience to what you had with Days Gone, except you sort of take out all of the infected and the zombie stuff and you add just desert wastelands and these like super sandstorms where you can collect really cool loot. I'm not going to spoil anything, but given the way the story panned out, there seemed quite a definitive finality to it. And given that it wasn't sort of super commercially successful, it doesn't seem likely, but you never know. If anything, us gamers, we're optimistic. Maybe someday when we forget about these games, it just pops up again. They're like, hey, we're going to do a sequel from a game from 30 years ago. That would be what I would pick. I think Mad Max, that would be one I would really enjoy playing. Well, that's all I've got time for today, but don't worry, there will be a sequel to Gamers Said. There'll be another one next week, but I would love to talk about a topic of your thinking. Have you got a question about your favorite game? Have you got a hot take? Maybe an unpopular opinion? We love those as well. Let us know. Submit a thread to gamerant.com, and you never know, if it picks up enough traction, we can come on here on Gamers Said and talk about your idea and all the chaos and all the conversation that you've caused from your own thinking. But until then, happy gaming, and we'll see you around on gamerant.com. Until then, ciao!